and welcome to another episode of Straight from the Heart. I am your host, Ian Thomas. This evening, we're sitting in studio with one of the newest caretakers or candidates to represent the National Democratic Congress. Good evening, Ms. John.
Good evening, Mr. Thomas, and how are you?
I'm all right. And you?
Good. I'm fine, thank you. And
Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Welcome to Straight from the Heart.
Thank you.
Who is Cecilia and John?
Boy, the other day I was thinking I should write a book, Good evening, listeners. And Thomas, before I go into answering your question, I just want to congratulate all the athletes who went to Rio, who some of them might be still in Rio, on the brave and noble act. I mean, I was so proud looking at this game and seeing Kirani and what in your Taplin and the Victor guy and the whole host of them, Cherubin, I always say Cherubin, child. And to all of them, I extend my congratulations on behalf of my constituency and also the National Democratic Congress. I think it was a job well done. And we have to congratulate especially Kirani James, because even though he did not bring us to goal, we still feel good in our hearts that he represented us well and brought silver for Grenada. Congrats, Kirani. Congrats all the other athletes. God bless you. And before I move on to your question, I also want to say hats off to King Scholar, that is from St. Patrick. Don't forget, I must talk about that. And Boise. Yeah. They made us proud. And to all the other Calypsonians and performers at the Carnival shows competition, I want to congratulate you all, because I think you all did a good job. Keep on doing what you're doing, but we just have to step it up a notch in terms of timing, how we should begin on time, and we should take this thing a little more seriously, because one of the things I saw missing from Carnival was the old mass competition, where you come out with your placards and all those things. I love going to the Juve just to see that. And I think this year, Sater's had a few, maybe one or two in St. George's, but I think overall that was missing from our Carnival. But congrats, everybody.
All right. Tell us.
Oh boy, Cecilia and John, better known as Anne, a very proud product of St. Patrick. My mother is from Sater's and my father hails from River Sally. So my most formative years were at River Sally and Sater's. I have gone through a lot in my life as a young person. I consider myself to be young, And I'm the mother of 2 children, a boy and a girl. My husband is deceased. And sometimes I look back and I wonder how I made it through. But I thank God. He has been by my side all along. He's been there he was there for me. He's still here for me. And I always give him thanks for what he would have done for me and my children, my family. But this is Anne in a nutshell. I had a very rough upbringing when I say rough, I came out from a very poor and humble family. And at the age of 9, I went to live with a godmother of mine who was a little bit on the well-to-do side. So I always say to my people when I'm out in the community, wherever I go, that I had the best of both worlds. I know what it is to be poor and living in poverty, and I also know what it is to taste a little bit in the finer side of life and the luxury part of life. So in a nutshell, this is a person, work-wise, I am a social worker by profession. I have served about 40 years, don't calculate my age, and as a social worker, community development worker, child advocate, anything along that social line, I've been there and I've done it, and I have a lot more to give. Because of my experience, I decided, and the social work aspect of it, which is really working with people, helping persons to have improved lifestyle and the standard of life to be lifted. And I realized that as a politician and as a social worker, I can see a lot of similarities, because you have to be a people's person, you have to love people, and you have to do it not because you want praise, but because you want to see people grow and develop.
Right. About a year ago, I noticed you were endorsed by your constituency to be the caretaker and candidate for the upcoming elections. Tell us about the whole process, from endorsement to today. How has it been in your constituency, moving around, meeting the people? What are really happening? How is the new political life for you?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful from where I stand. Because like I said, as a social worker, this is not no new tough for me. This is something that I'm used to, and I enjoy doing it. What hurt my heart, however, is when I'm out in the community and I notice, because I try to compare my life as a social worker for over the 40 years and what's happening today in communities. And I realize that things have gotten, bad is not a good word for that. Things have gotten so difficult for the community people. It hurt my heart. You know, when I go out there and I see what's happening to them, we have very high unemployment rate. And remember, I am talking about, basically I'm focusing on my constituency, which is St. Patrick East. In St. Patrick East, we have 6 polling divisions. They are, one of them would be around the Livera side, Livera, La Fortune, Madé side. And I'm looking at the level of poverty in some of those areas. So the Livera side, La Fortune side, we have Rose Hill, Montfendu Plains, that area there. We have River Sally, which is the biggest of the polling division. We have Montrose and Hermitage and Snell Hall, and so part of Sautez also. But when I go into River Sally, when I go into Rose Hill, when I go into Livera, the others are all have little varying degrees of poverty. But when I go into those areas, I can see it. It's very stark. It's just staring you in your face. And I realized that politicians over the years, Dr. Kit Mitchell, he has been in there for 13, 16 years as, you know, in terms of a leader, prime minister of the country. And once one person said to me at Rose Hill that he came up there a few months ago and he said to the people, you know, I always remember Rose Hill. I came here in the 80s, I think it was 84, 80, whatever it was. And I saw it had a lot of poverty in this area. I remember seeing the ladies grating the coconuts. I wonder if they're still around. And when he visited about, maybe it could have been about 2 months ago, a young lady asked him, so based on what you'd said a few months ago, I'm asking you why Mr. Clifton Paul was not a member of cabinet, was not a member who can really look out for our well-being to make sure that things are going, you know, okay for us. He's right in our community, and you did not even bother to make this man the representative, the real representative for our area, St. Patrick. And based on what I've said before, that it's one of the poorest. St. Patrick East, so St. Patrick on the whole is one of the poorest in our parish, in our country. And I don't think the answer was what she was expecting. I don't think she got the answer what she wanted, why you did not. And instead of that, you gave somebody else the opportunity to. I'm saying that to say that the people in the communities, they are suffering. So it's not that they don't want to work, or they don't like to work, or they're lazy. I cannot, you know, listen to somebody saying that and agreeing with them. Because going around the community, a lot of the young people would say to me, Miss, I just want to do something to help my families. I just want to do something to help myself, to uplift myself, to bring some dignity to myself, you know, and my family. And as a result of that, when I realized what's going on, there were 1 or 2 people who I can help. I try to help as much as I can. And let me say that out in my constituency, I do not see colors. I'm colorblind. And the reason for that is we are Grenadians. We are human beings. And if there is a need, and I can fulfill that need, I can do something, I can go out, step out of my constituency, and see if I can get other persons outside there to link with these people, to help them, to link up with me, so I can help these people, I would do it. And that's one of my concerns over the years, that the politics itself became very divisive. It divided the country, it divided families, and I don't think this is the way we need to go. Because if you're complaining that when NNP is in office, you do not get, in government rather, you don't get a job, you are overlooked, they couldn't care less about you because you're on the yellow side, you NDC. And if you're asking me to do the same thing, then why are you complaining? Yeah. Because if it's bad when he did it, it's bad for us when we do it. You know, so that's one of the little, something I have to work on in our constituency, to let our people know that they all are human beings, they all are deserving. If there is a need and it can be fulfilled, I would do it on their behalf. So I work with everybody across the board, trust me. Thomas, trust me. I'm serious. You ask me for help, I would try to help. But out there, we have in the community high level of unemployment, especially among the young people, which is showing over 50% of our young people are out of jobs or unemployed. Then another area I always like to look at is to do with persons between the ages of, say, 35 to 60. What are we really doing for this age group of persons? And most times, not most times, they are the breadwinners. They are the people who pays the bill, who look after the children, they look after the elderly. They take care of the elderly, you know. So I am concerned that we are not placing our priorities right. I think we have to try to build people and let people build things. Because if we help them, they're going to help to build their communities. And if you do communities by communities, you do parish by parish, Grenada would be a better place. Or nation building, I think, is key at this point. Let me just say the housing stock in some of the areas are real poorly, dilapidated kind of situation that they're in. We have young people now consuming a lot of alcohol. This is a real concern to me. And there seems to be no real meaningful, sustainable development occurring in our country as you go along. Everything is a quick fix. Let me give you a typical example. I started a craft class in Rose Hill. We did it for a few months. We went on and we're trying to help our young people with learning a skill, getting a skill, hands-on skill, so they can have something that they can look forward to and do. And in the same community center where I'm using, another group came in and doing another kind of skill training and so there. And I'm saying, we have 6 polling divisions in that area. Why can't we go wrong if it's something meaningful and you really want to help? Why are you trying to compete? You know, why compete? You know, so I've moved on a bit and I'm trying to help individual groups of young persons to see how I can help them to move on with a skill, with some level of employment that they can do something for themselves. I'm not going to elaborate on that too much, but I'm doing that. And the older persons who are in need of help, we're trying to see how we can do something where a person again can come as a group to achieve what they want to achieve in life. But it's not easy out there for young people. Their hopes and their aspirations seem to be just dashed away. Some of them are very hopeless, and we need to empower our people, our community people. They need to be empowered. We need, let's go back and retrain some people, retool people. Those who have no training, expose them to training, expose them to some level of education, something to help them, to lift them. Because if every 5 years, because I'm looking at what's happening right now, you know, the government over the past 3.5 years, they have not done anything in those areas. Because as I go along, I have not seen anything, and I'm asking the people, what have they done? Well, I can't see anything myself. But at the end of the day, just around election time, they will come back and bamboos. The bamboos, they kind of use their power to say, look, I'm going to give you the handout. They give you handouts to say, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that in order to get votes. I don't believe in that. I believe in whatever you're doing, let it be sustainable, let it be developmental, let it be something that can uplift people, let them get to a stage where they can help themselves rather than waiting on a politician to come along and hand you something. Let's give them a hand up rather than a hand out, you handing them something like that. I believe in that a lot. Let us help them.
How has your reception on the ground been since you were endorsed as a caretaker? How has the people in your constituency received you?
Excellent. Excellent. And I'm not telling a lie. I've been very honest and truthful with you. Excellent. And for the simple reason, like I said, I'm from Rivers Valley, originally. Sates, as a social worker, I work throughout Grenada. And a lot of the families that I'm interacting with now, I've worked with some of them, and I'm known to those people. So as a result, it becomes very easy for me to go out there and interact with them and help them as much as I can, assist where it's necessary. So it's been very good, I must say.
No, you took up a responsibility to fill the shoes of a man that is of almost impeccable character. How difficult it is to walk in the shoes of Mr. Tillman
Boy.
Thomas.
How difficult? Lord, what are you going to say? I don't think it's going to be extremely difficult for me. It might be a little bit challenging because he's been out there many times before. I'm coming new. All right, so what we're doing most times, Uncle Till is out in the field with us. It's lately I haven't seen him, but we spoke about that, and he was a little bit busy, and he was traveling for a while. So we discussed it, and he said he's going to get back on board with me. But he's been out with me. He has been out there, and I'm learning from him as I go along myself. Basically, at least once a week we're in contact. Sometimes it's more, but at least once a week we're in contact. And if something is happening and he think I need to know, he'll give me a call and inform me, and I will take up from there. But I think Uncle Tilly and myself, we have there's similarities in terms of our personality, in terms of the things that, I wonder if it's personality, because I think I'm open, and I'm very, very, I challenge the status quo. That's the truth of the matter. Something is not right, especially on behalf of children, youth, and families. I would put my neck out to make sure that things are done properly on their behalf. So I'm not too sure with Uncle Tilly and myself, but there are some qualities that we have in common. But I think maybe where he might keep quiet on something, I might open up my mouth. So sometimes I have to be careful about that.
No, but that's good for politics, because politicians are not supposed to really be quiet people. You're supposed to be outspoken when an issue is in the community or in the area. You should be able to speak on it. So if that is one of the qualities you possess, my dear, that is one of the qualities a politician is supposed to possess. Tell me something. You care to share some of the plans you have for your constituency as it is currently? You just pointed out a few of the ills that are there. What are some of the plans that you will try to employ when you're elected? Because I'm certain you will be elected based on the interaction you've been having. What are some of the areas you hope to transform in your constituency?
And I really don't want to go into it in any detail, to be honest with you, but my vision for St. Patrick is to see a St. Patrick where our people or patrician from that area don't necessarily, unless they want to, at some level of their work life, employment life, stay in the community and work. There are some people who have to move out because of your profession or otherwise. But I want to see a community where our people are put back to work. And I mentioned the other day that Ronald Reagan once said that the best type of social work or social aspect of your community is to put people back to work. Is to have people working, is to give them a job, right? So I am interested in seeing, for example, agro-industry being brought into the rural areas, because I think it's very important that we have, because we have a lot of agricultural stuff and thing up in the rural areas. Or we have a lot of farmers, we have fishermen, you know, and I can see our agriculturists out in the field providing the produce, and having others in agro-industry kind of setting factory-wise coming out and work there, okay? I see that as one of the issues. I see, because we, from historical St. Patrick and beautiful St. Patrick, I see it as a tourism site where persons can come in, and we provide the crafts and arts and crafts and whatever it is, that you open little shops for tourists and even for your local people. Visitors alike can come in and purchasing, and you know, there are a number of things that I know I would like to do from cooperatives, so that persons would be able to, in the community again, while you're doing that, you would not be, the expense for transportation would be lessened, you know, or eradicated altogether. You will not have to pay any money to get out for a job if you're going to do it the right way. There are a number of other things, like I said, but I prefer not to go into details. But I see education as important, the human capacity development, because a lot of our young people today are asking for that. And if we work with them to develop people, I don't think we can go wrong. And I believe in developing people to the greatest potential. And if we go along that line, I don't think we can go wrong. Because like I said, if you build people, people would build things, you know? And I think that is important.
Recently, government made pronouncement of the St. Patrick Port project. How you believe that would impact your constituency?
I think it's a good move, and to be honest with you, any government in office at this time would have to pay attention or look into that matter in St. Patrick, because it's, if left unattended to, would destroy the whole of the St. Patrick's town. Port you mentioned?
Well, the breakwater, I think
it's a breakwater. It's not a port.
It's not a,
it's not a port.
The port was in talk for
it's
a
not
long,
a port.
long time.
I don't think it's a port. I don't think
project.
it's a port. Sometimes, depending on who's speaking, they say it's a port.
Yeah, I know this
but
guy.
it's not a port. It's a breakwater. And I would, I'm hoping that a number of persons from St. Patrick would be employed in that area, so they can get some meaningful jobs and money coming to them, finances.
And not only that, the security of the town too, because you're pointed, if this is left for another couple of years, yeah, your town could be no more.
Yeah. It's around Christmas time, Mr. Andel and myself, we were walking around, and we took out photos of that, and we saying, this is so dangerous, because you know around December time, this is extra rough, and the water's coming right up, hitting all behind Mr. Lalsin place in Sates. So all that will help Mr. Lalsin and the whole people on that side of the sea there, on the sea coast, to save the building. But I don't think it's anything to do with a port at this time. And people have to be aware of that and don't be taken for a ride and be fooled that it's a port right now. Right now it's just a breakwater, because any government in office at this time would have had to attend to this that issue. It's a burning issue. But once persons can get jobs as a result, I'm glad for that.
Is that project
happy.
bordering in your constituency, or is it sitting in your constituency?
It is in my constituency.
It is in your constituency.
Yes, yes.
Well, I should be seeing more of you in the whole layout of the project. Because I saw some photos on the media just a couple of days ago.
I saw them too.
I saw just two individuals in them. So I don't know if it's a
maybe
secret project.
It was just for the individuals who are in there. Okay. Yeah, but I would get some more information on that, and next time we can talk a little more.
All right. Over the past couple of days, I heard you guys in St. Patrick rename the parish. I don't know who gave the authority. I don't know who's responsible for the renaming of the parish. I hope you're not part of it.
City?
Krong City. I would like for you to tell us why you guys call yourself Krong City.
Because we keep getting a number of Krongs. A while ago, I extended congratulations to Scholar and Boise. In the past, we have been Boise again, was also a king. Scholar, Inspector, Ashida Charles. Just name it. So you have all the answers, Mr. Thomas.
No, but I want for some of the viewers that might not know to get an appreciation.
Yes, man. We have been taking all the crowns.
Yeah, you guys are really talented.
We are, and that's why I come next election. The two seats, the two St. Patrick seats, both east and west, will be coming into the NDC camp.
Oh, we can't wait for that to happen.
I know.
We can't wait for that.
I know, but let us just take a little time and it will happen.
Because let me see, I want to have my say in this now. I believe the current representatives that represent in the parish, one has served his time. He's been there for quite a while. The others didn't really get a chance to serve the people. In my view, he was called in. He was a pawn in a game. They just put him there. He won his seat and nothing came out of that. But I believe the people of St. Patrick really craves real representation. And I believe that yourself and Joseph would be two good representatives of the people of St. Patrick, East and West. So that's just my say.
Of course.
I'm not living in your constituency, but I just believe that you guys have the wherewithal to deliver and make your parish.
Can I tell you what I'm thinking? I am thinking we need to stamp resign, expired on a number of politicians who are in office right now.
I support that.
Expired, stamp it right across the board.
I support that.
From the top down, they expired. They have done what they had to do, what they plan to do in terms of maybe helping the country to move. They have nothing more to offer, and it's about time we are given, NDC is given a chance, an opportunity to get back there, to serve the people, to continue to serve. Because I keep saying as I go around to the communities, I said, look at it. If NDC was in office presently, the training hospital between SGU and government would have been on its way. The UWI in Hope complex would have been on its way. The Parliament building, I heard it started. I don't know where it is. If it's a push start, what's happening? That would have been almost completed because the funds were already here to get that done.
You know, before you go for, you know what I don't understand about the situation? Why did the Australian take back the money from the government?
Boy, this one is a secret. You better ask Dr. Kit Mitchell. He might be able to help you.
I would show out an invitation for him. Anytime he's ready to do an interview with us, he could come in and sit down and have a nice conversation. I really hope he could accommodate me.
But before we finish that though, the main thing for St. Patrick, there was a plan, there was some work in the pipeline to do the road from down Pointsville, go right down past the bus terminal in Sates, right? So a lot of things have been happening. There are a lot more, but I'm just giving you some of the things that would have been in progress. That's what I'm saying. And if you look back, the rock fall that Brother Naz signed with the World Bank, so it included the Vendome project up in Vendome, the one in River Road, Tempe area, the Turnale project, you know. So I'm wondering when Dr. Kit Mitchell said to the Grenadian people, he coming back and give them jobs. This one gonna get job, all the different sectors will be running up and running. I'm wondering, was it a dream we had? Did he actually said that? The investors line up, did he actually said that to us? So we were dreaming or taking people for a ride once again? We need as Grenadian people to look at those things. We need to be able to listen to news, read, have a decent conversation with somebody who can help to uplift you, right? Rather than helping you to stay down where you are. Because a lot of those people have not moved from where they have been. How many years ago Dr. Mitchell was in till now? So there is no way at this point that they would be able to get any further unless they change.
Any final words?
Yes, Brother Thomas, just to appeal to the Grenadian people to get registered, especially those in St. Patrick East, and come out and vote on election day, whenever election is called, because NDC is the alternative. NDC is the one to make a difference in the lives of the Grenadian people. I thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers, spending the last half hour with us. Please join us again next week right here on GBN Television from 8 to 8:30 p.m. as we go into another episode of Straight from the Heart. Once again, thank you.